I almost bought this $100 chainsaw from Amazon until I figured out how to get a better saw for $50 less. Let's talk about chainsaw shopping. Hi, and welcome back to Purple Collar Life. In today's video, we're talking about chainsaws and chainsaw shopping, which, I'll be honest, I love the chainsaw shop. And today I want to talk to you about how I almost bought the cheapest chainsaw on Amazon. In fact, I didn't almost buy it, I did buy it. So here is what I bought. This is the Coocheer 62cc 3.5 horsepower chainsaw with a 20-inch bar. This chainsaw right now is on Amazon for $119, but there's a $10 coupon, so $109 62cc 20-inch bar chainsaw. Now this chainsaw, like I said, is available on Amazon. I'll put that Amazon affiliate link down below. If you do consider ordering this chainsaw, we'd appreciate if you'd use that link. So I went ahead and ordered the chainsaw, and then about 5 hours later, I canceled that order before it even shipped. And here's why I canceled the order. But before we get into that, I want to get into why I was chainsaw shopping at all and what drew me to this chainsaw. So the reason I was chainsaw shopping, if you watched a video a couple weeks ago about the big oak tree that we were cutting up at the homestead, we are only about halfway through that oak tree. We just cut a pathway so that we could get through with the four-wheeler, and that pathway happened to be just about the center of the tree, which is 100 feet tall. So at the center of the tree, we were over 20 inches in diameter. You saw in that video that our farm boss, this particular farm boss, the MS271, with the 18-inch bar, could not get the whole way through that section of the tree. And as you would imagine, the further we get towards the trunk, the thicker that base of the tree will get. So since my MS290 had a 16-inch bar on it, my MS271 had an 18-inch bar on it, and we're tackling this huge oak tree, I thought, this is probably a good time to go chainsaw shopping. I've been interested in the MS261 by Stihl. It's the more professional grade chainsaw, but it's still in that 16 to 20 inch bar range. So I thought, I'm just going to do some looking on Amazon, see what's available to get in a couple days. So went on Amazon, found this Coocheer saw, was pretty impressed because I thought it was going to get a whole bunch of bad reviews. But when you look at the reviews, there's quite a few 5-star reviews in there. But then there's a pretty good gamut also of 1 or 2-star reviews if you actually read the comments. So then what do you do next? Of course, you go to YouTube. So after I placed the order, I watched some YouTube videos, and I've actually found that I don't think this Coocheer saw is a horrible saw. I think if you just had a couple trees to cut up, if you were just cutting a little bit each year and you wanted a saw to have around the house, this might be an okay saw for you for that $100 price point. You certainly can't beat the price point, right? But what started to concern me as I watched some of the YouTube videos were that it got a little bit hot if you're using it all day long or in a more active setting where you're cutting up a lot of trees. Like if you had ordered a truckload of firewood poles and you're working on those all day long, you got the bar length you need, you've got the CCs you need, you probably have the horsepower you need. I just don't know longevity and how long that saw will hold up if you're doing that day in and day out. So that's when I canceled that order. I thought, what am I doing? I've had such good luck with my Stihl saws. I watch in the wood yard, and Chris uses a lot of the Husqvarna saws. I know that GP Outdoors has done a lot of comparisons between the Stihl and the Husqvarna, so I thought, as I was looking at Coocheer on the Amazon site, there happened to be some renewed Husqvarna saws come up, so I wanted to take a look at them. So what did I see on the Husqvarnas? Okay, there's a 440, which is 40.9 cc's, that's about 2.4 horsepower, with an 18-inch bar for $209. And I thought, okay, $100 more, I'm getting, a name brand saw. I was a little bit worried with the Coocheer about who would work on it if it did break. I can't take it up to my local Stihl dealer and have them service that saw, but they would service a Husqvarna saw. So I thought, okay, $100 more, I'm getting a 440. It'll only have an 18-inch bar, but I could upgrade the bar, order another bar for it, and I'd be about $260 for a Husqvarna saw with a 20-inch bar. So that was tempting for a little bit. But then, you start down the rabbit hole, scroll a little bit further down. Well, here's a Husqvarna 450R Rancher, $449. Has a 20-inch bar with it. That's kind of tempting also. Wait, here's a 455 Rancher, a newer model, a little bit more power, 20-inch bar, $522. I thought, well, if I'm spending $522, why don't I just get the saw that I was originally interested in, which was the MS261 professional grade from Stihl. The 261, about $600, $650 with the 20-inch bar. So that's when I like, pump the brakes. That's a lot of money to spend to take care of a tree, when for 20 years the MS290 has suited me really well, and for about 3 years, or a little bit less than 2 years actually, the MS271 has treated me really well. So I'm thinking, why would I spend so much money on a new chainsaw when I've got two great chainsaws that are 20-inch bar capable? So that's when I decided to spend $50 on the 20-inch Stihl Farm Boss bar and put it on my MS290 Farm Boss, which is my favorite go-to chainsaw. So I switched out. Here you can see, here's the 16-inch bar. There's my new 20-inch bar. So you'll see plenty of videos in the future of using that 20-inch bar to tackle that big oak tree. Now some of you might be saying, but Chad, that Coocheer was only $109. It's a bigger CC engine saw. Why didn't you take a chance on it? I was really tempted because A, I think it would have made a really good YouTube video. I bought the cheapest chainsaw on Amazon, and here's how it does tackling that big 100-foot oak tree. But then, you know, it's money I didn't need to spend, and to be honest, I'm so happy with my Stihl brand chainsaws that I didn't want to switch things up. And when I started comparing the specs, here's what I found. So remember, that Coocheer is a 62cc saw, 3.5 horsepower, 20-inch bar, is 15.4 pounds. That's pretty heavy, but let's compare it to what we've got here. So the MS271 Farm Boss, the newer Farm Boss, is 12.3 pounds, so 3 pounds lighter, 3.49 horsepower. Remember that Coocheer is advertised at 3.5, so basically the same horsepower. This is 50.2 cc's, that one is 62 cc's, so you'd get more cc's, but the same amount of horsepower. So I thought about putting the 20-inch bar on here, but then I thought the MS290 has been a tremendous saw. Let's look at the specs for it. The MS290 is 13 pounds, so a little bit heavier than the 271, 7/10 of a pound, but still over 2 pounds lighter than the Coocheer saw. 3.8 horsepower, so more horsepower out of the MS290 than out of that Coocheer 62cc saw. And this is a 65.5 cc saw, so still not as many cc's, but a decent amount more than the 271. That's why I decided, let's put the 20-inch bar on the MS290. We've got a little bit more cc's, actually more horsepower than that Coocheer saw, and I think we'll be in good shape with the 20-inch bar on the MS290. For those of you who have experience with lots of chainsaws, please leave those comments down below. For those of you who have purchased that Coocheer saw and are having either really good luck or really bad luck with it, leave those comments down below. And if you're chainsaw shopping, take your time and enjoy it, because it actually is pretty fun. I think probably someday I will get the MS261, or maybe the next size up from that, because the 261, when you look at the specs for it, it's 10.8 pounds, so super lightweight. The power to weight ratio is definitely there. It is 4 horsepower, so more horsepower than my MS290, a half a horsepower more than my MS271, and it is the 50.2 cc engine, so basically the same cc size as our 271. You get a lot more bang for the buck, more power, lighter weight, and it is the professional grade saw, so I'm sure it'll last you your lifetime. Because I'm sure that the MS290 will last me my lifetime, and probably the MS271 also. Thanks for watching. If this video informed or entertained you in any way, please give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. And if you're not already subscribed to Purple Collar Life, click that subscribe button. We'd love to have you follow us along here in rural western Pennsylvania, with chainsaws, tractors, firewood, landscaping, and all kinds of projects we do to maintain our homestead here. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again the next time.